What's up, guys? It's Kristen, your self-proclaimed QuickBooks nerd. Today, we will be taking a quick look at using groupings in QuickBooks Online bank feeds. Recording all bank transactions on your business checking account is important because if we record all deposits in, we will have recorded all income, investments, and loans received. And on the flip side, if we record all money out, we will record all expenses, distributions, and loan payments that have gone through our business checking account. Connecting our bank account to QuickBooks Online efficiently helps us record all of these transactions. It takes out the manual step of creating each individual one. QuickBooks has many functions that help us speed up the posting process within banking. One feature that is available and somewhat hidden is called groupings. Groupings allow us to group all our bank transactions by date, description, money in or money out to help us easily categorize all of our transactions. This is especially helpful if it's year-end and you need to categorize multiple months of transactions. Let's review how it works together. To turn on groupings, we need to access our bank feed center. To do that, select the banking option along the left side menu. It's the second option down, not including the new button. When we're here, we can see all of the bank accounts or credit card accounts that we have connected to our file. Below, we will see the transaction list, the number of transactions that we need to review to post to QuickBooks, and then they'll start affecting our reports. To post these efficiently, we are going to use groupings. To turn on groupings, use the settings icon above the transaction list. Toggle the third button down to turn on groupings. QuickBooks is then going to group your transaction based on whatever column header you had sorted. Initially, the transactions were sorted by date. However, I recommend sorting by description. We determine our payee, our who, our vendor or customer, and our category, our why was the money paid or received, based on the detail from the bank. I'm going to select the column header description. Here, my transactions are all grouped based on the bank detail that QuickBooks has pulled. For our example, we're going to use the transactions for a rental. I can either use the checkbox next to each of these transactions to select them off individually, or I can select the checkbox to the row header that'll select off all three transactions in that group. I'd see a black bar appear at the top of my screen, giving me the options to accept the transactions as they are, update them, or exclude them. You should not exclude many transactions. It's a conversation for another time, but exclude is typically not used very often. Here, we're going to use the option to update. I now have to enter my payee and my category, my who and my why. My payee is going to be A1 rental. I paid A1 rental and I paid them for equipment rental. Once I have those two fields populated, I have two options. I can apply, which will apply this detail to my bank feeds, or I can apply and accept. It would apply to my bank feeds and also post to my books. For our example, I'm going to select the option to apply. You can see here that all of my transactions are updated with the same payee and the same category. Once I believe that those transactions are properly posted or categorized, I can select the option to accept. These will now post to my books. When I post transactions with the same bank detail, multiple transactions with the same bank detail, I'm going to be prompted to set a rule. The rule is asking, is a rental, my bank detail, always categorized to equipment rental? I then can add a payee to that transaction. Is a rental always equipment rental and always the payee A1 rental? If that is true, I can create the rule. I also have another option here saying to auto add. Auto add would automatically post the transactions every time QuickBooks downloads it from a bank feed. So if this is always the case, A rental is always equipment rental and always A1 rental, you can leave that toggle on and create the rule. If there are variations where A1 rental may not always be equipment rental, you can turn the little toggle button off. We'll leave it on, pretending that it's always going to be that case. I can then select the option to create rule, and every time going forward that the bank detail downloads with A rental, QuickBooks is automatically always going to post to equipment rental and always going to post to A1 rental as the payee. Using groupings is a very, very efficient way to go through all of your transactions. A real life example would be if, let's say, you have a telephone expense. You pay the same telephone vendor every month, and it's December and you want to record all of your transactions for the whole year. You can select off all of those transactions and post them all to telephone expense at once and create rules based off of those transactions.